Speaking of morons, now, is he in prison right now, Stevens? No, right? His prosecution was thrown out because the Bush administration, U.S. Justice Department. Right? Was that what happened?
You're talking about Stevens?
Yeah, Senator Stevens.
He's dead,
Former.
isn't he?
Oh, did he die?
Didn't he die in the plane crash?
Oh, gosh. Sorry about that. But his quotes still live on. Let's play this.
I just the other day got internet was sent by my staff at 10 o'clock in the morning on Friday. I got it yesterday. Why? Because it got tangled up with all of these things that are going on the internet commercially. And here we have this one situation where enormous entities want to use the internet for their purpose to save money for doing what they're doing now. They use FedEx. They use the delivery services. They use the mail. They deliver in other ways, but they want to deliver vast amounts of information over the internet. And again, the internet is not something that you just dump something on. It's not a big truck. It's a series of tubes. And if you don't understand those tubes can be filled, and if they're filled, when you put your message in, it gets in line, it's going to be delayed by anyone that puts into that tube enormous amounts of material.
He wasn't flying the plane. That's not right for me to say. Look, I don't wish any physical harm on him. There may be some other people I want to reserve judgment for. But his tubes have come home to roost, as it were. Comcast has threatened a Netflix provider, I guess. Essentially, Netflix is a service, and then it has a content delivery provider. And apparently it's called Level 3. I think that's the equivalent of like back in the day at Air America, we had Voxel doing certain things. I think that's the equivalent. Essentially, it's a content provider, and Comcast has demanded a reoccurring fee from this Level 3. Now, it is true that Netflix uses an incredible amount of bandwidth across the globe, and so one might think, well, okay, then why shouldn't they pay for more? Although it's not exactly like a pipe, ladies and gentlemen. There is actually expansive qualities, and there's certainly an infrastructure to handle more traffic, and it could be easily expanded. And it's not such a finite commodity, this bandwidth. But more importantly, understand why Comcast is doing this. They're not paying any more money. Comcast, it's not costing Comcast anything else, as far as I can tell. What they're doing is they're trying to set the table because Comcast is going to own NBC soon. And they're going to want to do their own delivery. They're going to want to compete with Netflix. In fact, I think they already do. They have something called Xfinity, which is a really bad name, but I guess they wanted to put that X in there to be reminiscent of Netflix. Maybe? I don't know. Is anybody a branding expert out there? Dorsey?
Not an expert, but sounds pretty good to me.
Right. Evan, are you a branding expert?
Yes.
Right. And so Comcast is promoting its vision of a combined television and internet on-demand service and would love to be able to say, hey, we're going to cut into the profit or the budget of Netflix. I think Netflix just actually moved to a different pricing structure where you charge a little bit more for the DVDs and less for the online delivery. I think it's like only $7 now if you want exclusively online. And, of course, Comcast is like, oh, we can't have this. That's the price of 2 of our on-demand movies. But you could watch hundreds. And this is a vision of what the net neutrality fight is about. Because, it'll start with this. But then it'll go to things like, hey, Comcast has just bought the New York Times. Huffington Post, you sure have a lot of traffic. We may have to charge you a little bit extra. Oh, Comcast has just bought, Catherine Harris and the Douche, the morning show or something. Morning Zoo with Catherine Harris and the Douche. And competes against Sam Cedar's streaming show. Sam, hey, sorry. We're going to have to charge you an extra fee, which you're going to have to pass on to your members. Your members who can become members at majority.fm. We got to get a button on that page. We need to get this going, folks. We need some help. I need to hear you people really getting geared up.
Charge.
Meanwhile, the FCC has delayed its meeting to decide on net neutrality from December 15th to December 21. That's not a good sign. Because, lobbyists are going to be paying attention at December 21st. Guess who's not going to be paying attention at December 21st? All you folks out there running around to get your Christmas presents. I have a buy on that because I'm a Jew. And even though my wife's family is Christian, I get a buy. People understand why I'm not paying attention. I claim it's on religious grounds. It's really more on convenience grounds. So I just don't want to deal with that hassle.
It's up to you to save the internet, then.
Right. I'm going to be the one guy who's going to be paying attention to this. The FCC customarily releases a draft of its agenda 3 weeks before it's open, but had the FCC kept its original December 15th date, Chairman Julius Jankowski would have needed to circulate its agenda by, I guess, a week ago Wednesday. So, theoretically, if it's going to be 3 weeks out, that's going to be coming in the next week. We shall see, folks. Keep your eyes open.